Hey guys, welcome back to another live trading video. It's been a minute since I've been doing this just because I haven't had as many trades with the new year and with the holidays, but we're back and I have a gold position that I want to put on. So today we're going to be trading gold start to finish. You'll be able to see the trade without any sort of hindsight. We're going to watch it together here and see how the trade plays out. So I'm looking to get long here on gold at a 50% retracement around 1831. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. We'll pause the video and I'll show you my position on camera. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I just clicked the button and I'm in this trade here. So I am currently pulling up my Webull account. So I can't trade as a US client. I can't trade CFDs on a regulated forex broker. So I'm trading it directly on the stock market using GLD, which is a gold ETF that tracks the performance of the gold market. So a little bit about this trade. What I'm going to do here is we'll zoom ahead as I write this out, but I'm going to write out my analysis for members and then we'll explain it here on the camera. All right, so I just finished up doing that right up here for members. So let's walk through this together a little bit. So I'm currently long gold, and a couple of the key components or analysis components that I had was the technical analysis, which we'll go over in a second, and a little bit of fundamentals. Recently, we've had a lot of recession fears around the world, a lot of central banks and a lot of, including the Federal Reserve, forecasting rough times ahead with inflation being very high. It's sort of expected that much of the world could enter into recession. And with that, there is the potential for a positive correlation with gold if people tend to start losing faith in some of the economies around the world. So there's a little bit of that play going on. And with this recent retracement from a technical analysis standpoint, I'm happy to actually get long like I showed you on my account. So my idea here is basically I've got a stop loss below the lows. In fact, let me make sure I get my stop loss correct. So my stop loss is placed at 1822.83, 1822.83. So right below the lows. If price breaks through the previous low here in the 61.8%, I will be out of this trade right away. So didn't quite catch the exact 50% retracement, but what I like here is that price is pulling back to a level of support in a overall upward trend. We've pulled back to that 50% retracement. And from a technical analysis standpoint, I like this trade on the long side. If it doesn't work out here, and again, we take a move lower, if we, as long as we stay above the 61.8, I'll stay in the trade. But if we break through the 61.8, that will be my trigger to close out of the position. And now what I'll do is I'll pause the video, give this trade some time to play out and see if gold can make a move in our direction and if we can make some money on this one. Otherwise, I'll still upload it to YouTube and hopefully we can learn something or two together. Hey traders, time for a little bit of an update on my gold trade. So price has absolutely exploded through the highs here after the NFP event that we had on Friday, as well as some follow through here. We actually have been able to break through the previous high. And this was a pretty big milestone for my trade. When I initially took the trade, my goal was not just to get back to the previous high, but to look for the continuation of this trend. Oftentimes what traders will do is as soon as price comes back to the previous high, that's where they're going to close their trade. And why I do not do that usually, what I will do instead is look to trail stops, is because oftentimes when a market is in a nice upward trend, we would actually expect when price to come back up. If it's still in a trend, it should actually break through those highs, right? And in a strong uptrend, this is what you're going to see over and over again. And then of course, in the downside, it's the exact opposite, new lows on each push. And so we have seen so far some very nice extensions past the high here on my gold trade. So again, we entered back here. As you guys saw, price has rallied since then and actually even taken out the highs. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trail stops. And in order for me to trail stops, my initial stop loss is down here. So I'm actually going to trail my stop loss up into this area. So my entry is here. My stop loss is now here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up this so that you can see it. I cannot do this right now because the market is actually it is closed here in the United States, and on the stock market I can only do executions or move. So if I try and do this, you'll see never mind, I didn't know I could do that. So actually that worked fine. We're able to trail stops here on this. I think that's just like a order submits on the open. I'm still getting used to trading actually on Webull.com or my broker Webull. And so what I've just done actually is I was able to do this. I'm going to trail this just a little bit looser. So this previous high, same concept on gold. This is where I'm tracking my trade. You can see we're floating $156 on the position. And now back to the analysis, what I'm basically looking for is as long as this price holds here, which is the same area on the gold ETF that I'm trading, if price breaks back underneath that, then I'm going to be out of the trade for a profit at that point, around 1856.5, let's call it. And from there, we'll just look to maybe find something else to trade. But the primary goal here is just to protect profits. And if this thing wants to keep running, then we totally will let it, right? So if price does even come back here and find support off of this level of support, then we'll just hold on to the trade and look to trail stops further. You know, one of the things that has really helped in my trading career was when I stopped trying to predict every little thing the market was going to do, and I started simply trying to react better, right? So now at this point, I do have a stop loss in place. I'm protected on this trade. If this thing does decide to break back the other way, my order will go through and I'll be able to get out of my trade for a nice profit. So we'll pause here and we'll come back once things get moving a little bit further. All right, guys, so a bit of an update here on my gold trade. Still running hot here. You can see price has just exploded off that level and continued. Now, just recently, we've entered into a bit of consolidation up here around the 1880 to 1868 mark. And I've actually just trailed my stop loss. I'm going to show you that in just a second. I put my stop loss just below here. So basically, if price does roll over and break to the other side, break to the downside, I'll be out of the trade for a nice profit at this point, and I'll show you what that looks like. So here is my Webull account where I've actually got the trade placed, and you can see same concept. If price breaks underneath consolidation, I will be stopped out. My stop loss is nicely trailed into profit, so I can't lose any money on this. And just for a heads up, we're floating around $160 on this trade. So it's a small size trade, but still, you know, met my criteria for an entry, took the trade, and have continued to run. So I've just updated this inside of the Discord channel for members, and so far this signal continues to run hot. So we'll see if we can stay above this consolidation, and if we can actually break out to the high side, it'll be rinse and repeat for me. So looking for a break, retest, and if we actually see that, I'll look to trail that stop loss from here and moving on up into just behind market structure there. All right, traders, a little bit of an update on the gold trade, and you can actually see that we have just continued to march higher on the gold chart, and this is an awesome spot to be in. And what I'm going to do here is we actually have CPI numbers coming out shortly after I'm filming this video. We have probably about an hour. It's 7:35 in the US Eastern time zone right now. At 8:30 we have those numbers coming out, so we've got about an hour. Now, a lot of times traders will take this opportunity to just close out a trade in profits, and in about an hour I'll be able to tell you whether or not I shoulda, coulda, woulda done that. But as a trend trader, as a swing trader, and as a trader that likes to use trailing stops, I do tend to hold trades into news, and relatively often. Now, I don't trade right into a spike or take a bunch of positions right before a market movement, but during an actual spike, I very often will hold on to a trade, as oftentimes the news goes in my favor, sometimes it goes against me, but either way, it's business as usual. And in this case, I'm gonna trail stops before the market news to sort of lock in a little bit more on this trade, just in case we get some massive volatility the other way. Now, in your point of view watching this video, the next clip after this, after I trail my stop, will be me actually reacting to the news itself. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see what happens. But let's go ahead and first trail stop loss. So I'm going to pull up my chart where I actually have the trade open on gold. You can see we're floating about $200 prior to the volatility here today. And my plan is to basically, with consolidation, trail my stop loss just up a little bit higher. And you can see there we go. The stop loss of the stop loss order should be lower than the current market price. Weird, it is. Oh, it's because the market's closed, I think. Hold on, let me figure this out. Give me 1 second. That was weird. I got it fixed. I don't know what happened there, but we are good now. I think we will need to refresh or something as I just opened up my terminal. But anyways, I just trailed my stop loss up into profit a little bit further. And the thought process here is, again, if the news comes back and shoots us back the other way, I want to get out of this trade fairly quickly. Now, if the price continues, if the news shoots to the high side, which is entirely possible as well, this is not something I'm, I don't know what the numbers are going to tell me before they happen, but I'm trailing stops here. So I have a best of both worlds scenario. I'm going to make money if it goes down. I'm going to be able to make more money if it trails higher. Of course, I'd prefer it to go higher, but we will just wait to see what the market actually has in store for us. So again, here's an update on this side of the view. We'll take a look at the hourly chart so we can see this a little bit closer. What I just did is I trailed my stop loss to about here, which is just below the structure here on this consolidation. So my thought process again is, if this market reverses hard on the news, I'm going to go ahead and get out of this trade with the potential interest in re-entering later on. But for starters, I'll lock in a profit there. At this point, we are floating a very nice risk to reward at this point, already a 7-to-1 risk to reward, which is, it's coming close to well, actually, it is definitely so far the best risk to reward trade that I've taken in 2023. It's only January. So if the whole year is like this, then you guys might see me on the Bahamas beach pretty soon. But totally kidding. I am too busy for that. But seriously, I do think that in terms of where we're at, we're in a good spot. We can trail stops from here and let this one make a move. Next, you're going to see my reaction to the CPI numbers, and we'll see if we can get in or if we can trail stops further, or if we're going to be trailed out for a profit here. So check out this clip. Stop loss is here for gold. We'll see if we get nailed on that or if we can continue to hold this one. And here we go, guys. We got about 5 seconds before the spike, before the release. Let's see what the market has in store for us here. And look at this, spiking to the downside for starters. And there it goes, the S&P 500 down, and look at that. I might be out of the trade. Let's see. Am I still in it? I'm still in it. Price very, very volatile on the initial release. Definitely just got stopped out of the gold move there for a profit. So congrats to members who are long with me on gold. We just got stopped out for a nice profit. Picked that one up last week and continued to hold it. The S&P 500, anybody have the numbers? Comment the numbers in the chat if you have them. We'll take a look at them together in just a moment. Still up $3,400 on the S&P 500 trade. Did not get triggered out for my profit. Still trailing stops on that one. And we will see if that one wants to keep us in the trade. All right, guys, so I had a big whoopsie on the stream, basically, where I should have been stopped out of this trade. My order was entered incorrectly. And in this case, it actually worked out in my favor, meaning that I held on to a trade that I shouldn't have. I should have gotten stopped out for a profit down in this area, but just to stay true to what I should have done, I'm just going to close the trade as is. I've got my order corrected now. I needed to extend the hours and I messed up on that. So I'm currently selling it. I'm out of the trade there. We made several hundreds of dollars on this trade. It was a really, really simple technical entry from start to finish. And I hope that you got something out of this video and learned something from this gold trade that I took. Again, a screaming move to the upside here. And, just to stay true to what I should have done, I should have been stopped out there for a profit. And ideally, the reason I'm annoyed by this is because I made a mistake that could have actually cost me a lot of money, right? If you think about it, sure, in this case, I made money, but this is a silly mistake that should not have happened. And had it gone the other way, I could have given back a lot of my trade. So even after doing this for a number of years, I still make mistakes. And, that's the thing. Like, trading is a consistently learning journey. There's never a point where you're just like, I know everything. See, even I make silly mistakes like that every once in a while. So we're out of this trade, made some good money on the gold movement overall to the upside. And I hope that you learned something from this. Remember, you can join the Discord channel if you want to see the trades that I'm taking in real time. If you want to follow along with my analysis and breakdowns behind every trade, I share charts, reasonings, I share the full breakdown like I did here. You can see, throughout my entire trades in the S&P and gold, recently I've trailed those ones into profit and consistently overall updated members with the trade. So if you're not already in the Discord, take advantage of our discount that's going on right now. Click the link in the description, fill out that form, sign up with us, and use the promo code there to get a discount on your membership. Hope to meet some of you inside of the Discord. Thank you for watching. It looks like you made it to the end of one of my videos. Thank you so much for supporting my content. It really means the world to me. And down below in the description, I put together some of my best resources for aspiring traders who are looking to improve. I've got some free downloads that could help you, some broker recommendations, and if you'd like to join our Discord or get access to some of our trading software, all of that will be linked down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.